Hello and welcome to Concepts with Kyle. And for today's concept, drum roll, we are talking about consciousness. Concepts of consciousness. Consciousness concepts. We can rationalize it.
Concepts with Kyle, it's concepts with Kyle, it's concepts with Kyle, it's concepts.
Alright, here we go. Hello everybody. So I'm gonna start off with, I guess, a story. Not really. So I've recently moved back into my parents' place. I can talk a lot about a bunch of different aspects of living with my parents and stuff, but what I really want to talk about and tie this whole concept of consciousness in is why I'm bringing my parents up is because of dialogue. Yes, dialogue. So there's this conversation my parents have, which is more not a conversation, kind of an argument, kind of a reoccurring argument about money. Yeah, so my parents are stressed out about money. A lot of people are, and I think a lot of other people's parents are. A lot of other humans are. It's a very stressful thing in life. Anyway, my dad was getting a bit upset about the water bill that came through, and to the point where he showed me the water bill. There was like 3 pages of the water bill, but on the last page is this one. I don't know if you can see this. So the water we used is $180. There is a water service for $80.61 and a sewerage service for $125.04. Very normal, casual thing. What's really interesting is the water service and sewerage service part of the bill, which is what's that? So that's $230 of my parents' money going towards water service and sewerage service, which is a normal casual thing. I just ran some numbers together. This just got me thinking. This is like, I look at every single house and I say they're paying this bill. They're paying $230. All these houses around me, everyone's paying this amount of money. That's just the standard price, and then they're paying for water. So you get this $230 you have to pay for your water service stuff, and then you have to pay a lot more. Then you have to pay money for your water. Apparently normal. The population of the suburb I'm in, which is the good old town of Goodna, happens to be 10,460 people. So what I did, I divided that by 4 to try and just get the amount of houses, and then times it by 230, the lowest amount of water you can pay, which equals $606,680 that my suburb of Goodna is approximately paying for this water and sewage service. I don't know how the water bill money thing works, but I know how consciousness works. And I can do a little really cool diagram for you. Alright, we start with this guy. Go like this. Okay, it looks kinda weird, but just give me a sec. Okay, here we go. So, this is year 0. And that way is your future. Since consciousness or humans can't survive on their own, like you cannot have a baby and just place them in the middle of the forest, or her, in the middle of the forest, and then they'll turn into an adult. No, they need training. Which is this part. See how this part doesn't have these gaps here? Because when you're young, you must learn how to live. And there is no you, I should probably explain what these gaps mean. This is your training, and these gaps represent the child, the human, the being challenging what they've been taught. And it is very important for us to challenge what we've been taught. Like this water bill. Is this the appropriate price, or do we challenge it? Now, extreme metaphor of this sort of diagram is if you're born into like a society, if your tribe is like a bunch of rapists or cannibals, then you're probably going to become a rapist or a cannibal, you know? See, that's a very extreme example, but here's a more mild one. If you're born in a family of meat eaters or vegetarians, if you're born into a meat eater family, you'll become a meat eater, more likely. If you're born into a vegetarian family, you're more likely to become a vegetarian. If you're a meat eater, and then you read all this stuff, you figure all this stuff out about the problems with eating meat, then you must challenge what you've been taught via the gaps in the diagram. You will challenge what you've been taught. So, the key thing here to understand is that what we think is normal is what everyone else is doing around us. So if we are born into a society where everyone works 5 days a week, has 2 days off, and about 6 weeks of holidays, maybe a year, and that's okay. If everyone is doing that, that means that it's okay. And if you're receiving all these bills and paying them, and everyone else is paying them, then that means it's okay. And you'll be less likely to challenge that. The more people who will challenge, the more people who are going to challenge their training will allow more people to challenge their training. Ugh. So this is, without a doubt, every single human being that's born is going through this diagram. Every human is brought in, is taught some stuff, and it's up to them, their job, to challenge the bullshit and say, hey, I don't want that, I rather this. And then when that being decides to have a child of their own, they will give them a better learning experience where their training will be much better. So I guess I'm trying to say what I was trained to believe I want to challenge. And I think most humans want to challenge that too. The only person that benefits the most out of a human working 5 days a week is the companies. The individual human actually is not benefited. Whoa, man, dude, ruining my video, scared the shit out of me. All this money, all this work we're doing for our government. And this is the normal reality that everyone's fine with. But I know most humans do not want to go to work. I know personally, I was working at this laundromat, industrial laundromat, and it fucking sucked after like 6 months of being there. It literally was like, it's brain damaging. But the motivation you need to stay at that job is you need a loan. The motivation I felt I needed was I need to be paying off like a loan, and having that motivation, you need to be here. Or I need to have children, which is like, I need to be here to provide for my family. And like the worst case, I need this job to impress my family, make sure I'm not a loser. Those three things are powerful. Same with, I want money to have a girlfriend. But I did not have those motivations. So there was no purpose for me to be there. So when my body was like, I don't want to go into work today, I was like, okay, me too. But if people are trapped in their job because of their situation, and that's fine and normal.